My name is Eugene Joseph, Associate Professor of Biology at La Sierra University. And I'm here in the company of three brilliant scholars who are here to interview me. When I was a freshman, the first month, I was sad. And the reason for that is because 2 weeks after my graduation, my father passed away. So I was a little sad starting, a little disoriented because now I had no money to go to college. So I was already working on the side. I was teaching piano lessons for about $10 to survive. And I didn't know much piano. I just had 2 years of piano. But something I could have done. But when I got there now, I was very focused, because if I wasn't, I know I was going nowhere. So I was focused and motivated and excited too. Excited because this was in Puerto Rico, and even though I had done high school there, college was going to be a different ball game, because I didn't know what it was all about. You know how it is. You just hear about it, but yeah. But that was my first quarter experience. Then after a while I started, but I was very, very focused at the beginning. Very focused. I was curious, very curious about things that move, that were not human beings. So for example, in the island where I grew up, there were lizards. You know what a lizard is? Mm-hmm. Okay. So these things, I would definitely check them out. They were fast. And I would try to catch them. So the lizard saw me. I went, boom! And I felt this thing squish out of my hand.
Wow.
And I'm going, no, I didn't need to kill it. Or anything like that, But I was still fascinated that I got it this time, but it had given up the ghost already. So I took him by the tail. I went up top of the house. I had a razor blade. And I opened it. I was fascinated. There was yellow inside, and green, and dark red, and all this kind of stuff. And I was just fascinated. That's the only time I did that because it was dead already, and I was just curious. So I left it on the rooftop, and I would come back every day to visit. After I started drying up, ants came, it just dried up, and after a while, there was just bone skeleton. And I'm going, wow, this is fascinating. And I knew I didn't know it was called anatomy, but that was a native interest. However, believe it or not, when I was in high school, I wasn't formally interested in that. I was interested in being an English teacher. And the only reason for that is not because I liked English, but I liked my English teacher because she was a good teacher. So I wanted to be an English teacher because she challenged me. But my native interest was simply science, stuff that moved.
Yeah. So, and be honest, we're not gonna be here.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. A couple things. Okay. One, when students are talking, when they're not supposed to be talking. Like if I'm lecturing, and you have a big old group just having a good time talking, as if I'm going to myself, really? So I would stop. I would even go in that direction. And I would go in repeat mode. And try to figure out, are they serious? And they get the message and they keep quiet. I don't mind students talking if you pay attention, you have a question. I don't. But while you're trying to explain something or talking, some students speak. That is a pet peeve. People shouldn't do that in general. What else about, when students insist on not following directions. And I'm talking not the big directions, just the little ones. Put your name on the paper. Some people don't. I'm going, oh my goodness. because what that does, it wastes a lot of time for the person processing. So that's why we penalize like that. We take like 50, points or percentage off. And it sounds kind of harsh, but people won't forget. And usually if this is the first time we let them pass, but really, especially when you have a large class, if people don't put the information, it can waste up to 30 minutes just trying to go through.
Figure it out.
Yeah, So just some things like that, nothing big. But I tolerate a lot of stuff. You have to be open-minded. In other words, you have to have the desire to learn, because if you don't, it's going to become like just a chore, something else I have to do, get out the way. But if you have a passion for what you do, whatever it is, especially with this field, you'll have a good time. I mean, I can't wait to come to work. I'm here late. It's just a part of me. And so just having a passion for what you do. And more than that, too, I do not look at the students as students. I project them like 10, 15 years in the future. And when you can look at your profession like that, where you see the potential. I look at you guys, and in a few years, and believe me, the time's going to fly by. Trust me on that. It's going to fly by. And all of a sudden, I'm going to walk into some facility, and they're going to be all professional already. And so one has to take it with passion and see the potential in the person and nurture that potential.
Yeah.
So whatever your profession is, you need to look beyond it and look at the big picture. I read, believe it or not. I love reading. It's a window to the world. I play the organ. I enjoy doing that. The organ's a lot of fun to do. Here is something I enjoy doing. I am a collector type.
Okay.
I make things with my hands. I'll show you a few things I make in here. When I graduated, I gave myself a gift. I always gave a gift like that to everyone else. Then I gave myself a gift. And I have done this for other people. I haven't done it in a long time, but yeah. If you look around the office, I have a lot of stuff I collect. Not all of it I do, but I like collecting things. Before I used to do a lot of that. And it's relaxing. You sit down and it doesn't have to be complex. It's very simple, something simple like that. And so I like doing that. I'm a collector type. I will go if all that person's knowledge was to transfer to me for that one day. The person I would like to do that is Dr. Jackson. He teaches religion, practical theology, and he is a philosopher. And we co-teach a class in philosophy of sorts. So he does the religion part, I do the science part. Okay, so Dr. Jackson, Dr. Maury Jackson, he is he's a philosopher by training. He is a theologian. And so we teach this class together. And he has a way of just bringing it home And so we do these activities with the class, but here, because he's trained that way, you know, he really comes across and impacts the students. And then I complement with the science because it's more like not science versus religion, but science and religion coming together. But we ask him some hard questions. And if I were to ask you one of these questions, you won't have an answer. For example, who is God? What is your definition of God? I tell students, we will never know all the answers to our questions. It doesn't mean you can't ask them. The same thing with science. A lot of stuff we don't know. Does that mean we should stop doing research? Okay. At the appropriate time and experience in life, perhaps, things are revealed to us. And we get it. So everybody is on a different level in their human journey growth. And that's why it's not even appropriate to judge someone else. Only God can do that because you don't know where that person is on their journey. You know. My biggest accomplishment are my failures from which I learn from. Because then it gives me the opportunity, I think, my way of looking at things, it gives me the opportunity to learn from that and have what I call a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. You know, so all my failures, whatever they have been, those translate into, you know, into the greatest accomplishment. I'll tell you why. I might say to you, well, one of my great accomplishments is that I got accepted at the Cleveland Clinic. And when I went there, I was in a research lab. I got my how do you call it, my picture in this big old magazine spread over there and all of this. But thinking about it, it's like, well, so what? You know? But when you can think of things in your life that you struggled with, and all of a sudden you grew from it, and you overcame, and now you're a better person, that's an accomplishment.